everyone. So today I've chosen to read Mr. Wolf's Pancakes. Okay, I hope you like this one. I know you've been enjoying all the stories so far. So this one has been written by Jan Fernley. That's the author. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. One day, Mr. Wolf was feeling hungry. He fancied some pancakes. Yum, yum, he said, licking his lips at the thought of a big pile of fresh pancakes. Mr. Wolf had never made pancakes before, so he took his big recipe book down off the shelf and he looked inside. But wolves can't read very well, and Mr. Wolf had trouble making sense of it. And if you can see here, he's actually got the book upside down. So he went to get some help from his neighbours. He called on Chicken Licken, who lived next door. "Please, can you help me read this?" he asked. "No," said Chicken Licken, slamming the door in Mr. Wolf's face. Bang! "Oh dear," sighed Mr. Wolf. He sat down, slowly read the book and worked out what he needed to do, all by himself. Mr. Wolf looked in his cupboard for the ingredients, but he couldn't find anything that he needed. And there he is looking in his cupboard. "I'll go to the shop," he decided, and he settled down to write a list. But wolves aren't very good at writing, so Mr. Wolf called on Wee Willie Winkie. "You're very clever," said Mr. Wolf. "Can you help me with my shopping list, please?" "No," said Wee Willie Winkie. "Go away!" And he slammed his door. Bang! "There's no need to be like that," said Mr. Wolf quietly. Mr. Wolf sat down and tried very hard with his writing until he'd made his shopping list. All by himself. Now, he needed to count his money to make sure that he had enough. But wolves aren't very good at counting. So he went to the gingerbread man for some help. What do we think the gingerbread man might have said? "Can you help me count my money, please?" he asked politely. "No, I'm too busy to bother with you," said the gingerbread man, slamming his door. Bang! There he is at the gingerbread man's house. So poor Mr. Wolf had to sit down and count his money all by himself. It took him a long time, and he had to check it 3 times before it was right. But he did it all by himself. Mr. Wolf needed a basket to carry his shopping, so he called on Little Red Riding Hood. "Please, may I borrow your basket?" he asked very nicely. "I'm not lending my basket to you," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Now clear off." So Mr. Wolf set off to the shop without a basket. "I'll manage," he said. And why do we think that they're all being so mean to him and not helping? So here he is now. He's just got to the shop. So Mr. Wolf went to the shops. He looked at his list and he remembered what he needed. He counted out his money and carried all the eggs, milk and flour home all by himself. Now it was time to make the pancakes. But wolves aren't very good at cooking. So Mr. Wolf called on the 3 little pigs. "Please, can you help me cook my pancakes?" I'll share them with you, he said kindly. No chance, said the pigs, slamming their doors, bang, bang, bang. Mr. Wolf felt sad because nobody wanted to help him. Mr. Wolf went home and started to make the pancakes all by himself. Soon there was a huge, delicious pile of pancakes on the table, ready for eating. There's his huge, delicious pile of pancakes. Now, as Mr. Wolf had been making his pancakes, a lovely smell had drifted out of his kitchen. All his neighbours could smell it, and it made them feel very hungry. They wanted some pancakes too. They decided to try their luck. So they knocked on Mr. Wolf's door. Give us some of your pancakes, said the rotten lot. Why should I give you any, said Mr. Wolf. Not one of you would help me. We'll help you eat them, replied Mr. Wolf's neighbours nastily. Anyway, we're not going away until you give us some. Mr. Wolf thought very hard for a moment, and there was only one decent thing to do. What do you think he's going to do? Oh, very well then, he sighed. You had better come in. Mr. Wolf opened the door wide and whoosh, his greedy neighbours rudely pushed him aside and dashed down the hall. Mr. Wolf shook his head, shrugged his shoulders and followed them into the kitchen. And when they were all in, what do you think Mr. Wolf's going to do now that everybody's in his house? Shall we find out? Mr. Wolf gobbled them up. Snippety snappety. That was the end of his unhelpful neighbours. And then, with his bulging tummy not quite full, the wolf sat down to eat his pile of pancakes, and he did it all by himself. Well, there was nobody else around. The end. So I hope you like that one, Mr. Wolf's pancakes. And I'll be back again tomorrow with another story. See you soon. Bye.